graph a quadratic equation, that U-shaped. Does anybody know what that U-shaped is called? Starts with a P. Parabola. Very nice. A parabola is literally the U shape that we're going to see in a second. A parabola.
It's right there.
What? Oh my gosh, look, it is right there. I didn't even realize that. Whoops. Okay. So we don't have graphing calculators, but what we're going to do is I'm going to take these graphs and I'm going to graph them for you up on the board. And we're going to see what we notice about the two of them. And then go from there. Okay, so give me a second. And we're going to sketch a little bit of a graph on our equation here. So the first thing is, if you look at this first equation, it's y equals x squared plus 2x minus 5. What is your a value in this problem? Oh, not x squared. The a value is whatever number's in front of your x squared. So what number is in front of the x squared? A 1. So your a value in this problem is 1. Good. What is your b value? Good. B value is this one right here, 2. And what's your c value?
5.
Negative 5. Yeah, there's a minus sign that goes along with it, so your c value is negative 5. Good. Let's actually, before we do that one, let me show you a graph. Here's what this equation looks like. Ta-tink. Okay. X squared plus 2x minus 5. So where do you see the minus 5 in this graph? Where is it located? On the, say it again, on the y-axis. Good. So this negative 5 is right here. So it's where it's crossing this y-axis. Very good. Now, what are you noticing about the shape of this parabola? Is it negative? Okay, so it's going down, right? And then coming back up, it's kind of making, what shape is that? Just a U shape. Yeah. So this is my first graph right here. It's a U shape. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back to our little picture here. Tink, tink, tink. Our picture. We're going to graph our picture. Okay. So if we look back at our picture, this is what we're going to sketch. At negative 5, you're going to see 0, negative 5. You should have a point. So let's go down to negative 5, make a little point. Okay. And then there's also this other point right here all the way at the bottom. That's negative 1, negative 6. And it's essentially where the two lines meet each other at the bottom. Okay. That's my bottom point. It's called a vertex. At negative 1, negative 6. And then you'll notice right over here, let's see if I can get to it. You also have another negative 5. So this right here, this is almost like there's a line right here. That's where your graph is reflected over. So everything that's happening on the right is also happening on the left. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a quick little sketch. Here's my negative 5 right here. Right, this is negative 5. And then we've got the negative 1 over here, and it's going to look something like this. Beautiful little graph there. So this point right here was my negative 5. And this point right here is called the vertex. And there's my first graph. I just graphed a parabola. Okay, my next one. Y equals negative x squared plus 3x plus 7. What is your a value in this problem?
Negative 1.
Good, your a value is negative 1. What's your b value? 3. It's the number in front of the x. Yep. And then what's your c value? 7. Okay, now let's make a guess. What do you notice is different between these two graphs? Okay, yeah, this number in front of that x is negative. So if you had to make a guess, what do you think is going to happen when I graph this equation?
Maybe this way.
It's going to go the other way. Exactly. It's going to get flipped. So plus 3x plus 7. Okay. So here is my second graph. It's now in the blue. Let me undo this one. Stop. Yes, it gets flipped. So where is the positive 7? It's on the which axis?
Right.
The y-axis. So right here we've got the number 0, positive 7. So if you want to make a little sketch of that, doesn't have to be perfect. And then this point right here is my vertex. It's at 1.5, 9.25. So we're just sketching it. It does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to sketch it. Mine looks like this. That's 0, 7 right there. And then there's a vertex right here at a weird number. So I'm not going to worry about the vertex. Okay, so here's the big distinction. If your a value is a positive number, which way does your parabola open, up or down? It opens up. So if your a value is positive, your parabola opens up like a smile. So think about literally a smiley face. If your a is negative, your parabola opens down like a frown. Negative. Goes down like a frown. So positive a gives you a smiley face. Negative a gives you a frowny face. Easy peasy. Okay. Now, there are 2 more parts to this parabola, to this graph here that we have. The first part is called the axis of symmetry. What does the word symmetry mean? Symmetrical, same on both sides, right? So the axis of symmetry is the line where you can think about it, it's almost like the line that's the mirror. It's where your graph gets flipped to the other side. So it's just a mirror point. So the axis of symmetry is a vertical line that divides the parabola into 2 equal parts. So the vertical line that divides the parabola into 2 equal parts. So it's where you can like slice your picture right in half, essentially. So if you were to look at the 2 graphs that we just did, your axis of symmetry should go right through the vertex. So your axis of symmetry in this problem is right there, right? It cuts it in half. Same with this one, it cuts your graph in half. That's where your axis of symmetry is. So it cuts it, shrink, right in half. The formula to find the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b divided by 2a. And the b and the a come from, right, this part of the equation, right? The numbers in front of the x's. Does anybody know where this comes from? Does anyone here know what the quadratic equation is? Did you maybe learn it in Algebra 1 that you sang a song for it? You didn't sing this song?
No.
X equals negative b.
Mm-mm.
Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 ac all over 2a. You never did that one?
That's gonna be.
You didn't do that?
I did.
Really? Okay. Well, that's where it comes from. That's how we're going to find our axis of symmetry. So when we go to graph it, that's going to help us out. The last point is this vertex right here. So the vertex is the point, right, where your graph, essentially it changes orientation. So this is going down, and then at the vertex, now it changes and it's going up. So it's the point that essentially changes which way your graph goes. So vertex is the turning point. Turning point of the parabola. Turning point of the parabola. So when your vertex has a point at the bottom, so you've got a smiley face and you've got a really, really low point down at the bottom. So in this one right here, this vertex is called a minimum. And I'm sure you can guess if my vertex has a highest point, so it flips around, got a point really high up, that is called the what? The maximum. Good. So using all of this information, we're going to practice sketching a graph, finding the axis of symmetry, the vertex, and then figuring out if our graph is a smiley face or if our graph is a frowny face. Okay, so let's take a look at our first example. We've got y equals x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to write what our A, our B, and our C is. What is your A value? It's a 1, so it's the number in front. A value is 1. What's your B value?
8.
8. And what's your C
15.
value? 15. Now, since your A is positive, is this going to be a happy graph or a sad graph?
Happy.
This is going to be a happy graph. So I'm going to put a smiley face. It's a happy graph. All right. First thing we're going to find is the axis of symmetry. So to find it, we're going to use this equation right here. X equals negative B divided by 2 times A. Negative B over 2 times A. So what number am I going to substitute in for the B?
8.
8. So I'm going to put negative 8 over 2 times A. What's your A value?
1.
1. So it's 2 times 1, which is just
2.
2. So what is negative 8 divided by 2?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So your axis of symmetry is at x equals negative 4. There's your first piece. That's your axis of symmetry. So far, so good. Okay. To find the vertex, you're going to take this number and we're going to plug it in to this equation. So everywhere you see the number x, everywhere you see the letter x, excuse me, you're going to plug in the number negative 4 so we can solve for our y value. So we're going to write it out. So y equals, I'm just going to copy it first. 8x plus 15. And now everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put parentheses and I'm going to plug in the number negative 4. So negative 4 squared plus 8 times -4 plus 15.
Oops.
And that's going to give me my y value. Now, we actually probably all should go get a calculator so that we know how to put this in. Or you can use your phone calculator. I don't really mind. It's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. I got to see if the online one does it the right way, though. Okay. So if you're using your phone calculator and you have an Apple, you are going to have to turn your orientation off so you can turn it sideways. And if you turn it sideways, you should see your calculator has like a whole bunch more things that you can click. Okay, you also can probably do it realistically in your head, but it's there for you. First part is -4 squared. So when you put this into your calculator,
-8.
no, -4 squared means -4 times -4. It's 16. So you're going to push in the 4. You're going to put the negative sign with it, which is that plus minus. Yep. And then this little button that says x squared, you click that. You get positive 16. Good. 16 plus what is 8 times -4?
I got -32.
Yeah, -32. So that's -32.
Oh, not over.
And then plus 15. So yep, 16 minus 32 plus 15, you get -1. So your y value is -1. So now, when you go to write the vertex, it's a point. You got an x coordinate and a y coordinate.
So -4, -1.
Perfect. And now we're going to take all of that and we're going to draw a picture. Like a really, and when I say sketch, I mean, I literally just want to see this and this on the sketch, okay? So here's our sketch. Straight up. We're going to go to the vertex at -4, -1, and we're going to plot a point. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and 1 down. That's your vertex. At that same number right there, you should have an axis of symmetry. So you should have a vertical line. That's your axis of symmetry. So right here, I'm going to put a vertical line. That's my axis of symmetry. And then are you going to have a smiley face or a frowny face? Smiley face. So ready? Straight up, I'm doing this. Whoop. There we go. That's all I'm looking for. Okay. So this pink line right here, this is my, I'm going to put AOS, axis of symmetry. And this point right here is my vertex. And that's it. You've sketched your graph. You're done. You've done a parabola. Nicely done. Huh? We've got some more on the back.
That was simple.
It was simple, right? A couple? Let's do a few together on the back, and then I'll give you some time to work with people at your table to finish it up. Let's do, why don't we jump down and do like a hard one? Let's do 7. Look at that bad boy. What do you think? 7? Yeah? Okay, let's do 7. So we've got y equals -3x squared minus 24x minus 42. So first thing is just write down your A, your B, and your C. What's your A value? Yep, we jumped to 7.
-3, 24, and 42. Well, -24 and -42.
Good. -24 is your B. And your C value is -42. Now, is this a happy graph or a frowning graph? It's a frowning graph because we've got a negative a value. So I'm going to put a sad face so I remember it's a down graph, right? It's going down. Okay. Axis of symmetry is, oops, negative b divided by 2a. Sorry about that. I started writing down here. Negative b divided by 2a. Okay. What am I going to plug in for negative b?
Negative 24.
Ah, it's already a negative, right? So a negative negative makes this a positive 24 over 2 times a. 2 times negative 3. Good. So it's 24 divided by negative 6, which gives you what? Negative 4. Good. There's your axis of symmetry. Negative 4. Beautiful. Now, how do I find the vertex? What do I have to do?
Put it in.
I got to plug it in. Yep, I got to substitute it in. So you substitute it. Let's see if we get the same answer, if we get something different. So everywhere you see an X, you're going to plug in negative 4.
You still put the square?
Mm-hmm. Better be real careful with your signs. Use a calculator. Careful with your signs. Oh.
I just switched my schedule.
Okay, wonderful. Grab this and go sit at that table with those boys right there. What's your name?
Francisco.
What's it?
Francisco.
Francisco. Nice to meet you, Francisco.
Is this supposed to be a large number?
No. It is not supposed to be a large number. Mine's not large. Well, I'm doing it right now, but mine's a very small number. Be careful with your signs. What'd you get?
I got 18.
Okay. So I got 18.
I don't know.
What'd you get? 15, is that what you said? I don't know. I can't hear you. Use your words, friends. I can't read your minds. What'd you get?
198. How did y'all get that?
198. That's big.
I think I did.
That's real big. Remember, you have to do order of operations, which means you have to do the exponents first.
Oh. Why not?
So order of operations is PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. First one's parentheses. Are there any parentheses?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No parentheses. That means you go to E, which is exponents. What's the exponent? The little 2. So the first thing you have to do is negative 4 squared. What is negative 4 squared? Negative 4 times negative 4, which
I
is?
did 3 squared.
Ah,
Oh,
so this one gets squared first. Negative 4 squared is 16. So you would do negative 3 times 16. What do you get?
Negative 48.
Okay, this is negative 48.
Okay.
Now we're going to keep going. What is a negative 24 times negative 4?
Good question.
It's what? It's 96, and it's a positive or negative?
Okay, I got 6 now.
Positive. This is positive 96. And then I bring down my minus 42. Okay, so now when you put that in, what do you get?
Hold on.
Negative 48 plus 96 minus 42. 6.
Yeah, I got it right.
6. Woo! 6, 6, 6. Okay, so that means your y is 6.
Negative 4, 6.
There you go. Your vertex is at negative 4, 6. Okay, sketch the picture. Let's see if our sketch looks the same. Oops.
Oh, I did wrong.
It's okay. It's why you have an eraser. Hey. Does yours, let's erase this, look like mine?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly. So you've got a point at the vertex, negative 4, 6. And right at that point, you put a vertical line, because that's where your axis of symmetry is. Your vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. So if you know one, you know the other. Make a vertical line, and then you know it's a frowny face because it is a negative parabola. And that's it. You're done. Get your sketch. So the only part I really care about when you go to sketch is, excuse me, the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Okay. Questions? Oh, Mr. Concerns, yes. I have the hiccups now. Oh my gosh. It's unfortunate. Okay, do you want to try some on your own, or do you want to do one more? Huh? You desperately need one more?
Let's do 9, because I only have 2.
Okay, let's do 9. That's a good choice. Number 9. Okay. Oh my gosh, these hiccups. Okay. Yes, as was just pointed out, there's only 2 numbers here, not 3. So this looks a little bit different. But we're still going to do the same thing. We're still going to write down our A, our B, and our C values. Okay. What number is our A value? 1. What number is our B value?
3. Negative 3. Is that negative?
I don't agree.
Not 3.
Then what is
0?
0?
Why is it 0? So look, the B value, right? The B value has to go with the X, just the regular X by itself. There is no X by, there is no X by itself in the problem, which means if there's nothing there, the number is 0. And then what's your C value? Negative 3. Great. Is this graph a happy graph or a sad graph?
Happy.
This is a happy graph. Let's do that axis of symmetry. Negative b over 2a. Excuse me.
So then, how would we do that?
Well, what would it be?
1,
Hold on.
Zero.
What would you plug in
2.
for b?
0.
0 divided by 2 times your a value is 1. Well, what is 0 divided by 2?
300.
What?
Zero.
It's 0. Yeah, it stays 0. That means your axis of symmetry is at what? X equals 0. Perfect. Now, this should make the vertex really easy. Why?
I don't know why.
Because wherever you see an X, you're going to plug in
0.
a 0. Yeah, so this should be so easy.
So it's
Just
3.
-3.
Negative 3.
Yeah, just -3. So your vertex is at what point?
0, negative 3.
0, -3. So let's sketch it. How easy was that? Right? Zeros are great. Now, 0, -3. Where is that on the graph?
In the middle.
Do I have to go up, down, left, or right for that 3? Down 3. So that's my vertex. It's a happy graph. And then where's the axis of symmetry? Literally right there on the axis. That's my axis of symmetry. So looks like this. It's a happy graph. Tink. And I'm done. And that's my vertex right here, which is 0, -3. Easy peasy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy. Okay. We have 5 minutes left. Ooh, excuse me. I would like you to do number 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Or if you're already done with them, that's great. But if not, 2 and 3 right at the top. Give those 2 a try, and we'll check them. 2 and 3. And I'll leave this up so you have something to look at.
You're doing all of these?
You're doing 2 and 3 right now. Those are the only 2 I'm worried about at the moment. Hold on to it.
I got a question.
I got an answer.
That's great. Am I supposed to put the exponent with this for the axis of symmetry?
Nope.
No.
Don't need the exponent for axis of symmetry.
So it's just 2 times -1. Right?
Yeah, we have to do negative b over 2 times -1. What's your b value?
That's 10. -10.
Yeah, so that's going top. No, be
It's negative.
negative because it's already a positive.
Did I get the right number? I just
Oh.
want to make sure.
Okay.
You're really close. You're 1 off. That's 24.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, I got a decimal.
What?
Yeah, I got a decimal.
Friends. No, you didn't.
Yeah, negative. Well,
No, you
axis of
didn't.
symmetry.
Axis of symmetry is not a decimal.
The axis of symmetry.
Well, yeah, but it's 12 divided by 10.
It's
Huh?
10 divided by 2.
Yeah,
I got -5.
but you gotta do
Positive
2 times 10.
No, I'm
It's
talking
20.
about number 3.
Oh, sorry, I'm on 3.
And this one 2. So
No, 3 is still not a.
I had 2.
Wait, what?
Okay, so for the negative for b divided by 2a, b is 10, so that's -10, and 2. Oh,
2 times A is
Is
negative
negative
1.
one,
So
which is-
negative 10 divided by
yeah.
negative 2 is positive 5.
From that same number two, you can say,
What did you get for your X value?
X, I got 12 over 10.
No, it's 2 times A. You did 2 times C.
Oh, okay.
That's why. All right, we'll check 2 and 3 tomorrow, okay? That's all I want you to do, 2 and 3. And we'll finish up the rest tomorrow in class, all right? But do 2 and 3 so I can check them tomorrow, okay? Nicely done today, my dears.